The graphical tools that are commonly used to access FTP servers are pretty handy, but sometimes you don't have a GUI environment to work with. Sometimes you have to use the command line. Luckily, there's command line FTP applications available in Windows, Linux, and Mac OS X. You'll interact with the application in the terminal window, and before you do, it's important to know the basic commands. To start the app, on whichever platform you're using, type FTP. You'll see the prompt change, and that's how you know you're sending commands to the FTP application. Type open and the name of your server. After you press enter, you'll see a welcome message if one's been set up for your server. And if you need to authenticate, you'll be prompted for your username and password. If your login is successful, you'll see OK. The number to the left here, like the numbers above, are status codes that the server sends in response to commands. I won't go into them in this course, but they can be handy if you ever need to troubleshoot something with your connection to the server. To see what's in the directory, you can type ls for list, or you can type dir. Here on my Mac, the commands show the same information, but on Windows, the ls command shows less information than dir. In the output, the leftmost column shows whether the entry is a directory, denoted with a D, or a regular file, denoted with a dash, or missing D. The rest of that column represents file permissions, either R, W, or X, read, write, or execute, for each of three groups, representing the user, the group, and everyone. File permissions are covered in Kevin Skogland's course called Unix for Mac OS X Users, here on lynda.com. After that, you'll see the user and group for each file, the size, the modification date, and finally the file name. To change directories, type cd and the directory name, in this case cd_images. Here I can type ls to see what's in this folder, and to see which folder I'm in, I can type pwd for print working directory. To go back up a level, I'll type cd space ... To download a file, use the get command followed by the name of the file. I'll type get index.htm. This will download the file into your local working directory. That is, wherever in the file system you were when you started the FTP application. If you need to change the local directory, you can type lcd and the path. I'll use my desktop. Now when I do the same command, get index.htm, it downloads to my new current working directory. This syntax only works for one file, but if you need to get multiple files, you can use the mget command, with either a list of files or a wildcard pattern. To get everything in the folder, I'll write mget *. Depending on your platform settings, you might be prompted to respond to every file in the mget request. This could be useful if you have a lot of time to spend, or want to individually control whether each file is downloaded. But if you want to toggle it off, you can. I'll press Ctrl+C to break out of this operation, and press N. And I'll use the prompt command to toggle interactive mode off. Now when I use mget, I get all the files that match my request. Now I can see that the files were downloaded to my desktop, but if I was working in a folder that wasn't visible on my screen, I could jump out to the command line with the ! command. I can double check where I am, in this case my desktop folder, because I used the lcd command to change my working directory. And I can list the contents of this folder. I can see that it's in fact downloaded all of the files in my home folder, but it didn't get the folders. That's because mget doesn't support recursive downloads. That is, it won't go into every folder and download the files in each folder. To go back to FTP, I'll type exit. I can delete a file from the server with the delete command. I'll write delete index.htm. And as with mget, I can delete multiple files at a time with mdelete. But I won't use that right now. And I can upload a file with the put command. I'll write put index.htm. There's also mput, which, like mget, acts on multiple files. So you can type mput* if you want to upload all of the files in your local working directory, and so forth. You can make and remove directories with mkdir and rmdir. mkdir test, and list the contents of the folder, and I can see that my test folder was created. I'll write rmdir test to remove it. Different platforms have different sets of commands, but they all support these basic few that I've shown you. To see what commands are available on your platform, you can type !" for a list. The last command I want to show you is bye, which exits the FTP session and application, returning you to the command line.